Hi guys, we are going to start chapter 2. Chapter 2, we're only going to do 3 sections, so it's going to be super short, and the notes themselves aren't that long either. So we are going to start into one with absolute value. Absolute value we write with brackets or these bars. So we have straight bars on either side and some sort of number inside. Okay? What absolute value represents is how far a number is away from 0 on the number line, like distance, how far away something is. Okay? So, if we have 0 in the middle, and we have a number at 5, and a number at -5, those brackets on either side are asking for the absolute value. They just want to know how far away each of these is from 0 on the number line. Distance. Think about distance. If you walk forwards 5 steps, you moved 5 steps. That's fine. If you walk backwards 5 steps, you still move 5 steps. Even though you might be moving in a negative direction, so you might be moving backwards, which is negative, you still moved. Okay, you can back up your car and you're still covering distance. This is the same thing. So 5, just regular old 5, if you're talking about distance from 0, it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away. So the absolute value of 5 is 5. Okay, because that's 5 tick marks away from 0 on the number line. -5, you are moving in a negative direction, so it's like walking backwards or backing up or whatever you're going to do. But it is also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away from 0 on the number line. The distance is still 5. So even though we went backwards, we still moved 5 tick marks. So the absolute value of 5 is 5. The absolute value of -5 is also 5. Absolute value is always going to be positive, always positive. Because it's distance. Distance is always going to be positive. You either move or you don't. Okay? The direction doesn't matter with absolute value. We just want to know how far you moved. So absolute value is always going to be positive. So the distance, a number, is from 0 on the number line. Okay? We write it with 2 bars. So this is the absolute value of A. We just talked about that. Okay? So down here we have the absolute value of 2. So how far away is 2 from 0 on the number line? It's just 2. Okay, so the positive number just comes out of itself. -5, we just did that one. If you're on -5, you still have moved 5 tick marks. So the absolute value of -5 is 5. The absolute value of -10 is 10 because even though you go to the left from 0, you still move 10 spots. So these bars are just asking you how far you moved, and you moved 10. It's always going to come out positive. The absolute value of 25 is just 25 because you moved to the right 25 spots. The direction doesn't matter with absolute value, only the distance. Okay? So it's super easy. When you are in an actual example, okay, and you have absolute value involved. So this says 15 minus the absolute value of x plus 4. First of all, it says x is 8, so we're going to have to plug 8 in for x before I do anything else. So 15 minus the absolute value of 8 plus 4. Those absolute value brackets are treated like grouping symbols, okay? So with our order of operations that we just did a couple weeks ago, you are going to treat those like you would treat any other parentheses. You're going to add whatever's inside before you do anything else. So 8 plus 4 is 12. The only difference is that we're going to leave the absolute value brackets there for now, and then we're going to deal with them in a second. Okay, so you still put those together first. Then you just have to ask yourself, okay, so I still have the 15 and the minus because they are not affected at all by the absolute value bars. And then you just have to take the absolute value of 12. So how many tick marks is 12 away from 0? Just 12. So your problem just ends up being 15 minus 12, which is just 3. And that's it. For number 2, it says the absolute value of z plus 13 minus 4. So we're going to put the absolute value brackets. They told us that z was spot -5, so I'm going to put -5 in where I see the z. And then I still have a plus 13 and a minus 4. The absolute value brackets, there's no operation happening inside there. Nothing's being added or subtracted. So all you have to do is find the absolute value of -5. Well, how far is -5 away from 0? 5. So this -5 just comes out of those brackets as a positive because it asked for the absolute value. It has these bars on the side, so it comes out as the positive value. The rest of it stays the same, and then it's just a simple addition and subtraction. So 5 plus 13 is 18, and then 18 minus 4 is 14. So your answer to that is 14. And that's it. Okay, so you treat them like you would treat parentheses as far as adding or subtracting anything inside first, and then whatever comes out of those absolute value brackets comes out as a positive number, and then you just complete the problem normally after that. All right, this part, just adding and subtracting rational numbers, it's just adding and subtracting positive and negative numbers. You can use your calculators for these. My only request to you is that if you see two signs in a row, like an addition sign and a subtraction sign, or two negative signs, or whatever, that you rewrite the problem with one sign in between. That's what you need to do before you give me the answer. You can put whatever you want in your calculator, whatever makes it easier. However, if you see something written with two signs in a row, that's not proper. So we're going to rewrite it with just a single sign. So you have the -3, one positive number, and one negative number gives you a negative. Okay, adding a negative is just like subtracting. So when there's one of each, one plus and one minus, you're just going to use a subtraction sign and then whatever the number was. Okay? So -3 minus 4 is just -7. So once you rewrite it with a single sign in between, then you just give me your answer. Okay? Number 2, same thing. There's one positive and one negative. Okay, so you have to rewrite it. When there's one of each, you just rewrite it with a subtraction sign in between, and then you just do it normally. So 10 minus 7, or 7 minus 10. If you're at 7 and you back up 10, that puts you at -3. You took something away that was bigger than the original, which is going to put you in a negative position. The last one has two subtraction signs. Two negatives always give you a positive. So you're going to rewrite it as with the -5, and then those two negatives merge together and just make one positive, and then 16. And then -5 plus 16 gives you 11. Okay? So, again, you could put them in your calculator as they were given to you, but I want you to rewrite them with a one sign in between. If you have two signs in between, you need to rewrite it and then give me the answer after that. That's the only work you have to show me. These 5 you need to do on your own before you turn your notes in. So do these 5 before you turn them in. Do not turn them in without doing those. And then when you are done, your homework worksheet is 2.1. Let me know if you have any questions.